Hello, this is Preston Merrill,
And this is Stephen Duncan.
and we are from the BYU Civil Engineering 594 GIS programming class with Dr. Ames. In this project, we've created the MormonHistoryGIS.com website, which is a basic map viewer for the several different events and places in the life of the prophet Joseph Smith.
So to give you an idea of the web map that we've created for you, here is an outline of the setup it took to create our website, the languages we used to make the website, and finally we will show you how to interact with our website. In order to create our website, we first needed to find and purchase a domain name and set up hosting for our files. We were able to purchase our domain name, MormonHistoryGIS.com, at GoDaddy.com for $1 a month for 12 months. You can do hosting on GoDaddy.com, but we decided to do our hosting on GitHub.com using a feature called GitHub Pages. We will show you briefly how this was done. Next, we will show you some sample code from the internet languages we used in this project to create our web map. We used HTML, known as Hypertext Markup Language, CSS, known as Cascading Style Sheets, used to format our HTML to make it nice and clean for the user, JavaScript, which is a programming language commonly used in web development, more similar to the C language but has been influenced by Java too, and KML, known as Keyhole Markup Language, which is used by Google to display raster and vector data to users. These are the base map, points, lines, and polygons that are displayed by our web map. We will also show you how we used a JavaScript library known as OpenLayers3, which is the main library used behind our web map. And finally, we will show you our website and how to interface with our web map. So here is the main page for GoDaddy.com. We can sign in with our account and find the domain names that we have purchased from this website. Do that here, and we'll say visit my account. So after logging into our website, we can select the website that we want to work with. So selecting here, and then we can select Manage. Here I'll show you how to set up the hosting for the GitHub pages where we can edit the HTML and etc. for the website. You need to select the Manage button for the domain name, select the website, which is MormonHistoryGIS.com for us, and select this DNS Zone File tab. This shows us what servers we need the browser to find in order to show the content for our website. Here we need to change two different sections. The A host section needs to be changed to point to the GitHub pages. You do this by changing the IP address to 192.30.252.153. This is the same for all GitHub pages. Next, we also decided to change the CNAME alias section right here. Section of this tab. This is done by changing the www host to your GitHub pages name, which for us was gisdragons.github.io. Now that we've pointed our domain servers at the right hosting place, we needed to set up the GitHub pages. So if we go to GitHub pages, first we needed to create an organization in GitHub so that both of us could access the files using our own GitHub accounts. You can use this using a personal account too. You just have to remember that will change the name of the GitHub Pages repository. So next we create the GitHub Pages repository called gis.dragons.github.io so that the CNAME from GoDaddy would find our files. It's important to note that our name of our organization needed to go first, followed by the .github.io so that the GitHub would recognize that this is a hosting repository. Then, inside of the repository, we needed to create two files. We needed to create an A-name file, and we needed to create a C-name file. Both of which, the only content inside of them is this MormonHistoryGIS.com, our website name, and it doesn't have the www dot inside of it. After this, the only thing that you need to have inside of the only required thing that you need to have inside of your repository is the index.html. Which is the main page or home page for your website. This is where the HTML code goes so that the user can interact with our website.
Okay, so here is our website, MormonHistoryGIS.com. It's a viewer for Joseph Smith history. It's interactive. So we'll go through kind of the different elements of the website. First, here we have a drop-down list. These are all the different options, the 16 points, the one line, and one polygon. You can select one of these points, so for example birthplace, and it'll zoom right to that point and give a brief caption, a summary of what happened, and an image. And you can do this for all of them, for Topsfield. And we also have buttons that do the same thing. If you click on any one of these buttons, it'll take you to that point, display a pop-up with an image and a caption. Another cool feature that we implemented was this Zion's Camp trail, this line that has two colors, which required some special scripting in our JavaScript or in our CSS, and displays a pop-up at the center of the coordinates. We also have these two icons that we added as part of our KML, the Kirtland Temple and Nauvoo Temple. Just you can click on them, and it also displays a pop-up over that too. So that's kind of a nice feature. Yeah, and that's our website. So let's go into the scripting and how we created this website using HTML, JavaScript, and CSS and OpenLayers. Okay, this is our HTML page, which is kind of the skeletal structure of the page. In the heading, we link the page to our OpenLayers style sheet, our OpenLayers JavaScript. We give it a title, which is the title that's displayed in our website up here, Mormon History GIS homepage. And we reference our personal style sheet, which Stephen will talk about. So this is the body of our web page, which kind of consisted of most of the work. Here we create a heading, a custom header called Viewer for Joseph Smith History. That's the font size using H2 and H3 for all these. These are the options for the drop-down list. We give it a value of whatever these are referencing our KML to, and give it a name. And that's what you see in our web page. Down here we have the buttons. We give it a class called button, which is used in our style sheet, and this is the function that we create in our JavaScript, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And this is same idea as up here, and this is the name. Another thing too, right here, if you see, these are different from all the rest. This is because these represent our Zion's Camp line. They require a specific function that takes all the coordinates of that line and divides it by 2 and creates that pop-up at that point, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Okay, and this is our div tag, which is used to create the map and which puts the pop-ups inside of the map to make them so that we can display them. This is referencing our map.js file. And these are design documents that have a target of that creates a new page and the style. And right here, this is our Creative Commons license, and just that's what is used to create this part down here. This is our map.js file. This is first here we define our variables container, content, and closer. The container is used to identify the correct KML for the location of the point chosen, and is the element used as the overlay of the map so it can be seen. This content variable is what holds the pop-up content, and it is used when we call to display the HTML contained in the KML features. And this closure variable is used when the user closes a pop-up and the feature is set at a undefined location and it's blurred out of view. This is we define our overlay, which is the element that it contains is the container, and overlay is used in our map variable. We define our projection, which is just the projection object for the web mercator, our background variable, which is our raster layer, and our JS life, which is our vector layer. Both those layers are used in our map variable to merge those two layers to create our map. Our view is the open layer view set at the center of these coordinates with our zoom at 5. Our feature variable. So this feature variable here says that in the event that a pixel inside of one of the features is selected, it will pass that feature into the if statement below. It will get the geometry, you'll get the coordinates, and uses that as the overlay on the map. It sets the position of the future pop-up bubble at that point, and that displays all the inner HTML content inside of the description tag in the KML. The next two functions down here, the clicked function and the show data, are for defining this center coordinate of our line in Polygon. It does all the same things as the click function above. Sorry, this show data down here. These two functions. It does all the same functions as a click function above, except that it takes all of those coordinates, which are many, and it divides it by 2 and sets that middle coordinate as the definition of mid-chord, right there. And just like the function above, it creates the overlay and displays all the content written in the KML. And that is our JavaScript.
So here's a brief look into our CSS, our cascading style sheet. Here we can see that we've created some new classes. We use these as kind of modified headers to help us out, as we needed more headers than just the regular one. And some of the headers were breaking inside of our web map as well. Here is the style that we're using for the web map that's on our map, and this is some of the styles that are being used for our pop-ups. Also, we use these to stylize our select button and the buttons that we have on side of the web map, which is really nice. You can even have hover functions that go with it as well. We also, if you look down here, we also set up multiple different styles of paragraphs and links, so that way so that while dealing with the website, we can customize it all in one place, but yet have different styles depending on what we want. And it's really nice that we can use this class feature. Also, what we wanted to show you was a little bit of our KML. And if I go to our KML file here, our KML file is really nice because you can set up different files based on images, or you can just based on image again. We can also set our line styles and our poly styles based on different colors and types of fills and how transparent they are, that sort of thing. So also what's really nice is that if we look at this example here, we can set up our KML descriptions to use some HTML code, and we can do this using this line right here and closing with this line right here. What this does, it allows us to format our description using the HTML tags in the cascading style sheet. It even allows us to put links inside of here that we can use to target new tabs, so that way when you click on a link in a pop-up, it doesn't take you away from this web page, it just opens in a new tab. So those are just some nice features in our KML and our CSS sheets that we have.